A lot of kind of renegade things going on.
This big cluster of showers and thunderstorms is the area that we are watching for possible development.
By Wednesday, okay, then things get interesting. It'll probably be like this big complex of storms that'll just continue to race through.
Hurricane Blanca has entered through Baja, is crossing the mountains, into the plains, will go over the Great Lakes, and exit the northeast Atlantic coast. I ain't making that up. I thought that was pretty interesting, right? It's like, man, I gotta make a video about that, because that's interesting. So
Summertime is going to be shaking and baking out there, for sure. Sometimes I do like those cool days.
stay cool. Hit the button, baby. This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents...
Holy moly, look at that! Look at that! Oh my god! Hurry up!
Wow, look at that! It's so cool!
Dang it, I want pictures of this!
Great news, I'm in a funk, but I'm getting this party started. Doing my due diligence and my duty, and we're talking about the weather. It continues to escalate in its craziness. Now, you cannot believe that. Be like, no dude, it's because people have cell phones now, and those cell phones have cameras, so it just looks like every city is instantly flash flooding on separate days. And I could be like, well, dude, last week when I drove through East Texas, I saw that the flood levels were still very, very, very high. Like, still up to a dead-end street sign high. So it looks like an ironic photograph in real life. I was driving. I did not get to take a picture of it. Hurricane Blanca has entered through Baja, is crossing the mountains, into the plains, will go over the Great Lakes, and exit the northeast Atlantic coast. I ain't making that up. I thought that was pretty interesting, right? It's like, man, I gotta make a video about that. Because that's interesting. So we're gonna heavily rely on my buddy Herm for this story. It's a bit wonky, but deal with it. We're watching patterns here, pal. Alright, cool.
It's hump day, yes it is, and we've got some issues coming up here the rest of the week. Could be another active week of severe weather and some interesting weather. But you can see that here's the front coming east. Interestingly, you can see here's Blanca down here on Baja. The tropical moisture is already streaming up through the front. Now, this is going to go up into Arizona, then probably up through Colorado and into the plains, and eventually go eastward during the course of this week. Probably by Saturday, it's over here toward Buffalo in that area by Saturday morning. Then this is part of Blanca that is coming out into the high plains. By Wednesday, okay, then things get interesting. This is the energy from Blanca, so that's why you can start seeing storms developing out in the high plains. And then we get to Saturday morning, the energy's over here. So it's whatever. I think you're going to see some kind of trackable feature coming up and around. Going to cause some problems in terms of thunderstorms and maybe some severe weather this week. And then you got this the secondary front, which this is all Blanca moisture out here.
Hail.
It's going to hook in with the front, all right, kind of tap in with some of that tropical moisture that's coming up as well. This will be Thursday. Severe weather breaks out again as Blanca kind of heads out into the plain states, starts to stir things up there. Friday, those thunderstorms are heading over through the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Again, as all this Blanca stuff just continues to go through the flow. But it's certainly going to be warm, it's going to be humid. A lot of tropical air is going to be coming up to feed these things, these storms that will be developed. You know, I've seen these things before, these tropical things that come up through the Pacific. They can, if they wander up through this way, they can actually make it pretty much bodily up through Arizona and into the plains, and then they cause all kinds of havoc with heavy thunderstorms through the plains and Midwest. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this is all going to pan out this week. There remains a Blanca right now, which is out in the Rocky Mountains here, through the plains and then up through the Great Lakes and head on out during the course of the next 3 days. South of this front, there's a sort of front kind of lollygagging in here this morning. It is going to get hot and toasty. Even Dallas will probably top 100 degrees. That heat is going to interact with some of the remains of Blanca to produce some big-time thunderstorms out here in the plains tomorrow, Great Lakes on Friday. Then eventually some of those thunderstorms will wander through the New England and east during the course of Saturday. You know, each day these thunderstorms can produce some heavy rains, damaging wind gusts, maybe some tornado. I think tomorrow could be a tornado day out here, parts of Iowa into Kansas. This is just renegade thunderstorms along the front. Going to kind of come down, and it's going to go back north again, and the heat's going to come in, and so everybody's going to be like, oh my goodness gracious, it's so hot outside. Need I remind you, only a few months ago, we were freezing. Now tomorrow, I think it's going to be pretty active. Probably going to see a complex of storms developing in Nebraska and Iowa, and then that complex of storms will race to the Great Lakes Thursday night into Friday. And then this is the area here. And there's probably going to be a big risk area up in here. These guys down, they do this caution, unless they're really, really positive about something happening, they're just kind of cautious about putting out stuff. So, a lot of kind of renegade things going on. Okay? It is a noisy day today. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to do this and think at the same time. Anyway, but I would imagine there's going to be some flash flooding problems across parts of Colorado, even some heavier rains here through California where they want the rain. They're doing the rain dance there as well, and they're happy about that. Okay, this is all Blanca moisture. All right, remember this was an old hurricane that was in the Pacific Ocean last week that's come up through Baja and into the Rocky Mountains. Now it's come out of the plains. And this says to me there's going to be some pretty nasty storms out here, and then there's going to be some storms that are piling up against the Front Range too. And this is a lot of heat, and there's a low-level jet coming northward as well. So there's going to be some pretty nasty storms out here and some heavy rains and flash flooding going on across parts of Iowa. And then it becomes more severe storms back into Kansas tomorrow. It'll probably be like this big complex of storms that'll just continue to race through Wisconsin into Michigan and then eventually Ontario Friday into Friday night. This thing will continue to race on through on Friday and probably race through northeast, leaving behind a front that's going to sag down. Now, if you're south of this front on Saturday in the east, it's going to get hot. I mean, places are going to be in the 90s, and I can even see Baltimore, Washington even touching near 100 degrees on Saturday. Darn hot. Okay, so hopefully, Paulie P, they got the pools going, and they're out there ready, right? It's June, okay? Gonna get hot. All right, then we'll start all over again with the thunderstorms out in the Plain States over the weekend into next week. So pattern's not done. All right, that's all I got for today.
Доблестная полиция ничего не боится. Крейсер, блядь, Аврора.